Good morning, chat. Ooh, came in there hot. How's everybody doing today? Are we ready for some justice? Are we ready for... Let me turn this off. Are we ready for some justice? How are we doing today? Let's see. Who is with us? Who is with us? Shirley Roth, good morning to you. Baka of 3, Widespread Panic, good morning. Fala, good morning. Will Johnson, hello, hello. Brenda Meyer, hello. Only Fan, good morning to you. Julie, good morning, good morning. Fala, struggle so bad in the mornings. It's too bad. I woke up late today. Jenny, good morning to you. How are you? Let's see. How's everybody doing today? Oh, Kathy Bennis, hello to you. Cajun Bayou Queen, good morning, good morning. Brat, hello to you. Audio is good, thank you. Julie for letting me know. Nan R, hello. Denise Oliver, good morning to you. I woke up at 3 a.m. Oof, ouch. I've done that before to go to the restroom, but sometimes I go back to sleep, sometimes I don't. So, what are we going to do while we're in verdict watch, guys? I was thinking about playing some old testimony. I'm thinking, what was like good testimony that we could play? We could rewatch. Maybe Christopher Davis. Rewatch him while we're in verdict watch. Joseph Stevens, the FBI chemist, might be good. Your dog woke you up at 3, Fala? Oof. Poll for how long the jury will be out. We can definitely do that. Your dog's going to be on eBay later? You're going to put your dog on eBay? Yes, we need another poll. All right, we can do that. And afterwards, we're going to pick up on that Colin Griffith. I wanted to do Monica out in California, but I really, ultimately, I want to do Colin Griffith. And he's actually starting today. He was supposed to start Monday, but then it got pushed to today. So I'm going to go jump back up. I'm going to pick up on that one. Yeah, there are a lot of trials this week. Yep, Griffith, son who unalived his mom and his dad out in Oklahoma or something, I think. Fala says, I missed the biker-looking guy. That was the graphic designer, Thomas Treadwell. Yeah, depending on how long this jury is out, we could do that. Not the guy who got his feelings hurt by the defense with the cancer questions. He hurt my heart all day. Oh, that was the friend Chris Davis, the dark-haired guy? Yeah, Shirley, his dad too. Yeah, he self-defense with his dad and then his mom. It's pretty sad because he said he was going to do something to her. The cops came out and said, he's going to do something to you. And then, sure enough, he did something to her. All right. Yeah, originally I wanted to do that. And then because he was supposed to start Monday and I thought we'd pick up on him, today because I figured it'd be done today with Natalie. Then they said they had a pretrial hearing on Monday. So I'm like, oh, wow, it's not going to get pushed out until next week. So that's why I said, oh, well, let's pick up on Monica. But then now we see that they are streaming Colin. So I'm going to go back onto Colin. Hey, Mandy, how are you? Good morning to you. Jury won't be out long, Denise. I know. I'm hoping. All right, let's get a poll going before they even start. Let's get a poll. How long will the jury take? Oh, and there's a Karen Reed. Speaking of how long, there's a Karen Reed hearing on Friday, which we're going to watch. And it's going to have the Google expert for the defense, the guy who basically called her out on the house long. So that's going to be fun. How long will the jury take to come back with a verdict? Let's see. 0 to 2 hours. 2 to 4 hours. 4 to 6 hours. Let's hope not. And then I'm going to come back with hung. All right. New poll in the chat. New poll in the chat. New poll in the chat. Let's see. Mandy says, I heard Chris Davis' federal victim impact statement read back yesterday. Wow, emotional. His federal, really? Is that available? We could watch that. Let's try and find that. Because we got time. Court feed is live. Okay. Why am I not seeing the court feed? I don't see the court feed. Court feed is live, Aaron's saying. Why am I not seeing it? Natalie Cochran. Um, 15 hours ago, 1 day ago. Day 9. Okay, the court feed is live. Okay, let me grab that. We'll go back here. We got a live court feed, so let me go and do this. It's just a clock, so it's not that big of a deal. But let's grab it nonetheless. Oh wait, don't have to. There it is. All right, just kicked in here. Okay. Court feed is live. Thank you, Aaron, for alerting me to that. Let's see if anything's actually said. All right, while that happens, we'll see if we can find Chris Davis's, oh, here's some movement. Just saw Mr. Victor walk by. Oh, Lawyer Lee covering the federal impact statements. Well, if I can find a video feed of it without her talking, because I'm not going to play another content creator. I'm not going to do that. Hey, Irish Amy. Got a medical assessment this afternoon, dipping in and out. Great to see everyone. Good morning, Yorkie. Yes, they allowed the person that testified about the dog, Dr. Russell. They have allowed her to, she's going to testify. Bev actually allowed her to testify. Okay, so if Laura Lee found the federal, sentencing transcripts went off. One off us. One of us can too. So she read the transcripts. I gotcha. All right, there's some movement here, guys. Some movement. Is that Barbara? Let's see. I got my CC on. I got that on. She's been reading them. Well, we can see the documents on screen. Okay, yep. Fair enough. All right, so this one's going to be easy to start the clock because it truly starts at 9 o'clock. That's when they should be officially starting right now. It's 9 o'clock. Hey, Lily Wayne. Let's see. Lily Wayne, hi, everyone. Did the judge go over the verdict form with them and instruct them to pick a foreperson? No. He just said, what do you guys want? After closings yesterday, he said, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to start to deliberate or do you want to go home? And they said, we want to go home. So he never actually did that. So maybe that's what he'll do today. Oh, wait, we got something going on. Yesterday he said, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to All right. Yeah, I'm not sure if the judge is going to come out and tell them to pick a foreperson and all that, but Denise says, well, I can't believe that people think that's going to take 2 to 4 hours for the jury. That surprises me. What did you pick? Where do we stand so far? 0 to 2 is 16%, 2 to 4 is 56%, 4 to 6 hours is 16%, and hung is, oh, that might be Barbara. Is that Barbara? Julie says, probably breakfast arrived. Yep. Yeah, we'll do something in between. Like, I just want to make sure that judge doesn't do something and we miss it. So I'll find something for us to do. But we are going to pick up on the Colin Griffith trial, which is just starting right now. We're going to pivot from the Monica Cementili. I still want to cover that. So maybe after Colin Griffith, if nothing exciting is going on, we'll go back to Monica Cementili. All right, what am I looking up? Who is this? This is Nancy Cochran. I got to get my... Okay. I'll just give it to like quarter after, just in case the judge doesn't come on, and then we'll go and find some stuff to do. Yeah, the judge left it up to the jury, deliberate or come back tomorrow. He didn't say anything about picking a foreperson. So does he have to? I don't know. All right, so this is day 9. We're up to day 9. And what was my question to you guys? How long will the jury take to come back? How long will the jury take to come back with a verdict? 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, hung. We'll give people a chance to answer that. All right, so in the meantime, while we're waiting for, let's see, Brett says in Natalie's statement at federal sentencing, she said all the extravagant spending was her husband. That suggests another motive. She needs to stop his spending so the scam could last longer. That's true. Denise Oliver, I realize that the jury has a lot to do before they get to business on the verdict. I'm saying it's going to take 0 to 2 hours for them to decide. I know how a court runs. I'm a paralegal. Oh, cool. Yeah, paperwork takes time, and most juries want to make it look like they took things into consideration. All right, so you'd rather, you want me to try and find some court transcripts instead of rewatching some, what do you want to do? Do you want to rewatch some testimony, or do you want me to try and find some transcripts? Yeah, except in Devin's case, they came back in 20 minutes, which was a travesty in my opinion. Travesty. All right. Transcripts. Okay. All right, does not seem like the judge is going to come out and say anything. All right, Cochran versus United States, civil action. Natalie Cochran. Okay, I got the opinion here. She was acting pro se? Serious? December 22nd, 2022? Well, she was, when was she sentenced? She was sentenced in 2020. So I found this. Okay, found something else. Okay. We've done Pacer before, Mandy. Oh, you know what? Mandy, thank you for buying cups of coffee yesterday. And Julie, I am so sorry that I didn't have that account activated yesterday, so thank you guys. We really appreciate that. I saw that yesterday after we stopped streaming, so I wanted to thank you both for that yesterday. That was really sweet of you. Thank you so much. Mandy and Julie bought us cups of coffee yesterday, so thank you guys. Appreciate that. And yes, Aaron set up a Pacer account before. All right, Southern District. Actual transcripts can be found on Pacer. Okay. This is a press release. A copy of the press release. Okay, that's a press release. Okay, I'll read through that. That's a press release, Mandy. Let's see, I'm trying to find the actual. I found this Cochran versus United States. This is a civil action. She's the movant. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. So that's something else. All right, Aaron is asking me several questions here. 6.3 is my CPU. We have a Pacer account. We did it for Sarah Boone, but we can't log in. Okay. All right, I guess while we, seems like I just want to give the judge a little bit of time just in case he comes on. I don't want to be talking over him if he actually comes on and says something. So we'll just give it a few more minutes. Just in case he comes out and says something. So she was actually, let's see, September 21st, 2020. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. Let's see if I can find anything. All I can find is this case text co-counsel. Let's see. Okay, let's see. OnlyFan found the indictment. Let's see what this. Thank you, OnlyFan. Let's see what this gives us. Okay, thank you, OnlyFan. I got it. Thank you. Okay, let me check it out now. Seems like the judge is not going to come on and say anything, so I think we're okay. All right, so this is the indictment of... Oh, wait, okay. Here we got something. We got some action. See, that's why I didn't want to start anything, because I figured they would come out. So let's just sit tight here for a minute. All right. So she came out. Natalie came out with her Mr. Victor and Mr. Oh, there we go.
Good morning, all. We continue in the trial of State of West Virginia versus Natalie Page Cochran, and it is case number 23-F-343K. All parties are present, including the defendant. Are there matters that we need to take up at this time out of the presence of the jury?
That's for the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
I would ask counsel and the defendant to come up and let's check over the exhibits to make sure that we have the right ones that have been admitted. I'll ask the clerk to help come forward and let's double check to make sure we have no problems. Okay. 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 You've confirmed that?
We don't think there's any mistakes in the exhibit list at all. We think that that's correct.
Okay. And you folks?
I agree. I concur. I don't think there are any mistakes there or anything that would catch our eyes. I mean, there's one thing that Mr. Selden, I think.
I brought that up, and that's been cleared up.
Okay.
So we're squared away. Okay, I just wanted to double check. Thank you.
Can you just briefly go over what your plan is with the alternates? I was thinking you just brought them back for today.
Yeah.
I'm sure that 12 of them showed up, but I wasn't. And then you'll give your standard.
Yeah, yeah,
Read anything up.
yeah.
You confuse people.
Well, sometimes I confuse myself. Let me explain the situation with the alternates. You never know when a regular juror is going to get sick or have a problem with a relative or something come up. And that's why I had the alternates come back today, and I'm going to excuse them. I thought about the possibility of keeping them in case we have to do a mercy trial, but I don't think that would be appropriate because they won't engage in the regular deliberations. So we're going to go ahead and excuse them. That they have told the bailiff that they want to stay. We have a very good jury that's extremely interested in the proceedings. They're not grumpy, they're not complaining, and they are fulfilling their civic duty. So we can go forward and hopefully we'll have the regular jurors, less the alternates, shortly. Anything, Mr. Victor?
My envision, Your Honor, is that if, and I'm saying if, there is indeed a mercy phase, and one of the jurors gets ill or something should happen to a juror during the mercy phase, then the mercy phase cannot be decided by 11 jurors.
This is true. That's why I contemplated the possibility of holding them, but keep in mind they will not engage in the regular deliberations, which may or may not cause us any problems. And the others will be ahead of the game in that regard. And I'm not sure that it would be entirely appropriate to use them later if they have not engaged in the rendering of the verdict. Now we can impanel a new jury simply for the mercy phase. I don't think that's the best idea. I would prefer to use our regular jury that's familiar with the case, because if we impanel a new jury, and all of this is contingent upon a guilty verdict, of course, but if we impanel a new jury, we've got a new trial. We have to cover a lot of ground.
I think the name is Jennings. Is State v. Jennings that said if and we're way ahead of this, but just talking about it,
Right.
if there is not a unanimous verdict, then you redo the penalty phase with a different verdict, different jury. That's really what we're talking about here. So I think the court could take the two alternates, instruct them as to what not to do until they're fully released, and then if you need an alternate at either phase, they're available.
And they can be contacted. The only issue is that if they want to stay here, they cannot be exposed to any
Well, and
outside
they do
influence.
want to stay here. They've told the bailiff that they want to stay, and that's why. And of course, I can kick them out and tell them to run like turkeys home. But you know,
The court's already indicated they can't participate in the deliberative phase. And
Right.
there's a need for
they want to.
Well,
Yeah.
they would of course have to be isolated from any potential outside influence, and I think that can probably be done. And
Well, let me ask this, and we're way ahead of proceedings, but in the event there is a guilty verdict, a first-degree murder, I would envision going straight into the mercy phase, if not this afternoon or whenever the verdict is rendered, at least tomorrow or Friday. Are you folks contemplating coming back in 30 days, or?
The state believes that the court's procedure as stated is correct. There would be a verdict, timeout to get organized, and then proceed.
I agree, Your Honor.
Okay. And could you folks be ready as early as this afternoon, if need be, if we have to go into that phase?
Mr. Selden will.
Your
I'm
Honor,
sure enlighten the court.
we've anticipated some of these problems. We would need at least 2 hours to get together our witnesses at a minimum.
Well, 2 hours would be fair. I don't have any problem with that. I just don't want an extensive delay because it's unfair to the jury and it's unfair to the judge. But again, we're talking about possibilities, and we don't know what will develop, obviously. But is it the suggestion then that I hold over the alternates in case we need them for a mini trial?
No,
The state would suggest that the court follow its standard procedure, instruct them, turn them loose to wherever they want to go.
Just release them.
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
that's what the court's done in the past.
That's what I've always done. But I know that Judge Hutchison, on several occasions, would keep the alternates.
I know.
And
But-
they would moan and groan about it.
As well they should. It seems you would get the benefit of their availability as an alternate while not making them just sit around in an isolated room in the courthouse.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I need to backtrack for just a moment.
Okay.
I stated to the court we would need at least 2 hours. Unfortunately, we're anticipating calling certain witnesses, and they would need not 24 hours notice, but they would not be available the same day. They would have to be contacted for the next day.
Okay. Well, let's see how it goes. We need to cross that bridge when we come to it. This is what I have decided to do. I'm going to release the alternate jurors outright. I think it's unfair to keep them, and we'll deal with the situation. Hopefully, we'll have 12 that will continue to participate if we need them. If we don't, we'll just have to impanel a new jury. It's rolling the dice.
If that's the court's decision, that's it. But this court has sent jurors home with instructions, or sent them wherever they want to go with instructions, and they're still available. You could inquire if their service is needed as to whether they've fulfilled the court's instructions, and that way, in the event that we're short, we don't have to start this all over again.
Your Honor, on behalf of the defense, I would object to that. There's been a possibility of jury contamination all through this case. We discussed it in depth. I believe these jurors, once they're released, they're going to feel like, okay, we're not on the jury anymore. We can discuss this, etc. I think there's just too much risk of contamination.
Well, that's my fear too, and I'm just going to follow the normal course of conduct, and I'm going to release the alternates, and we will see what happens thereafter. All right, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bring in the jury bailiff. And one thing I'm thinking about, this is a really good jury. We haven't had any problems except at the very outset. They've been here on time, and they are prompt, and I've been watching them. They've been listening to the evidence carefully, and so I have confidence in these folks. And I got them sausage biscuits this morning too. That's why they want to. That's why they want to stay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Good morning. How are you all doing? I understand you're getting along very well from what the bailiff reports, and he says that you are happy and agreeable with each other, which is always pleasing to the presiding judge. We have reached almost the very end of this trial. This is the sixth and final stage of the trial. And as I explained to you yesterday evening, this will be the deliberation phase where you will retire to your jury room to deliberate on your verdict. And this will be the first time that you can fully and freely discuss the case, because I've been mean to you all along. I haven't been able to let you do any discussions, and I know you've been dying to talk about the case among your fellow jurors, but I haven't let you do it, and I've been like a broken record telling you not to talk among yourselves or with anyone else about the case. Before I send you into the jury room, I have to release the alternate jurors. And you folks have been just as wonderful as anyone else, and you have come and attended, and you have done everything required of you. Of course, your job would be to fill in for a regular juror if somebody got sick or someone had an accident or for whatever reason couldn't continue to serve. Then we would energize the alternate juror or jurors, and they would become regular jurors. And you saw this happen once before at the start of this case. So Haley Austin and Karen Buckland, where are you folks are the alternate jurors. And let me explain the situation. You can hang around if you want to, and you can wait and see what the verdict is in this case, since you've got a vested interest in it. You can run like turkeys home and watch The Price is Right and some of the other shows on TV. And you can call up here if you are curious and call Judge Polling's office. This is his courtroom now, and he will tell you, or his secretary will tell you the verdict. So you're free to do that. Now, lots of people will want to talk to you, and obviously your family members will want to ask you questions about this trial, and you're free to talk to them about it. And you're free to watch accounts about the trial. I'm speaking to the alternates. You may have other sources, streaming sources, that will want to interview you, and that's entirely up to you. You don't have to speak to anyone. If someone would approach you and want to have you do a survey or even appear on camera, it's up to you. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can say no. I don't want to talk. If you do feel comfortable, you can, and I'll give you my permission to do so. And I don't have anything else to tell the two alternates, Ms. Except my sincerest thanks for coming and participating, and I'm sorry that you weren't able to finish things out and continue by deliberating on the verdict. So now, Ms. free to go with the bailiff to the jury room and to depart or wait on the premises as you wish. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Now the business is at hand for the rest of you folks. You will, as I say, go to your jury room to start your deliberations. And the first thing that you should do is to select a jury four-person. And you note that I say four-person instead of the incorrect and outdated term of four-man, because obviously it can be a four-woman or four-man. It's a four-person. Now that person's job will not be any heightened. You won't have a heightened vote or a more important vote than anyone else, but you will see that the deliberations are carried out in a proper and orderly fashion. And most importantly, once a verdict is reached, you will sign as four-person of the jury the verdict form. And we have worked very diligently to make this verdict form as understandable and simple as possible. It's 2 pages. I'm going to give it to you, obviously, put it on the very top of the exhibits and the documents that we send in with you. And you may wish to pass this around initially so you can see it. It will help focus your discussions, perhaps. When you reach a verdict, you should turn on the light. The bailiff will show you the switch, and the bailiff will come in and gather you up and bring you back into the courtroom. The four-person should hang on to this verdict form, make sure that it's filled out appropriately and that it constitutes the true verdict reached by you all. And today's date, today is January the 29th. Presumably you'll reach a verdict today, but you may come back tomorrow, which is perfectly all right. But whatever date you do reach the verdict, you should fill out the date and sign it appropriately. Then when you come back in the courtroom, the four-person should hang on to this verdict form, bring it in, and the bailiff will retrieve it, deliver it to me, and I will read into the record your own true verdict. Now, I can't give you any hint at all as how to decide this case. I can discuss procedure if you have any questions about deliberations in terms of mechanics or anything like that. Does anyone want to tell a joke that hopefully that I'm not the butt of? No jokes. Okay. Well, this is serious business, and I want you to get started and get down to business in this matter. We have all the exhibits there, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have boxes of them somewhere. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put this jury charge on top, and on the very top will be the jury verdict form, and the clerk will make sure that they are right there for your viewing and review. All right, members of the jury, you may follow the bailiff to your jury room and commence your deliberations. Okay. Permit me to thank all counsel in this case for your cooperation, your patience, and your consideration. It's been a pleasure dealing with all of you in this matter. This has been a trial of no serious problems or issues, and you folks have made it that way. You folks have been excellent to work with, and I express my sincerest thanks to all of you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, you can remain on the premises. If you wander away or go back to offices, give Sarah a number where she can reach you, because we'll need to gather quickly when the jury arrives at a verdict. Anything else before we start our verdict watch?
Your Honor, you didn't have to take this case, and both sides were so glad that you did, and we're really glad.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. That means a lot.
And one of the reasons it went so smoothly is because of this court.
Thank you.
And we join, of course, in the sentiment.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, we will notify you folks whenever a verdict is reached.
Jesus, sorry guys. Sorry. Watch your ears. Heads up. Sorry guys. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry guys. My bad. I'm still kind of getting used to this new setup. Yep. Sorry. Apologies. Sorry. Mr. Selden's tie. What do we think about Mr. Selden's tie? I kind of dig it. Although it kind of looks like handcuffs, doesn't it? Right, don't they look like handcuffs? His tie looks like handcuffs. Thank you. So are those his parents? Do we think those are his parents? What do you guys think? Better than the turtlenecks he's been wearing? It's a funky 70s tie, yeah. I'm thinking those are parents. Yes, his parents, yeah. And then there's Natalie's parents. And she's just going to sit there, footprint at the bottom of his tie. All right. Let us get to, we have a few things to read here. Let me see. Don't want to do that. All right, just bear with me, guys. Okay. That's what I want to do. I want to do that. And then I'm going to do this. Let's see. It's an image. Nope, it's not that. Let me see here. Just bear with me. I'm trying to figure out how to read this PDF. It's not an image. Is it a media source? Let me try media source. Let's try this. Nope, not media source. It's not that. What else? Image, not an image. Maybe if I throw it in here, let me try this. Will this work? Okay, maybe this will work. Let's try this. All right, just bear with me for a moment. I think I got it sorted out. All right. All right, how's that? Is that cool? Hold on a sec. Okay. I think we're ready. All right, so here we go. Let's read through this. This is a PDF that Zoo OnlyFan found for us. So this is United States of America versus Natalie Cochran. This is the indictment. Counts 1 through 11 for wire fraud. This is her federal indictment. All right, this is 25 pages, so we have time, right? Introduction, at all times relevant to the indictment. Let me just blow this up just a little bit. Okay, there. From at least June 2017 until approximately August 22nd of 2019, defendant Natalie P. Cochran resided in Daniels, Raleigh County, West Virginia, in the Southern District of West Virginia. During this period, defendant Natalie P. Cochran and her husband owned and operated Technology Management Solutions, LLC, or TMS, and Tactical Solutions Group, LLC, or TSG. TMS and TSG were West Virginia corporations located in Beckley, Raleigh County, West Virginia. According to defendant Natalie P. Cochran, TMS was an information technology, or IT, company that provided technical and technology consulting services, and TSG was a wholesale merchant and provider of durable goods. Just let me know if you guys want me to read this. If this is, if you want me to keep going, just let me know. Is this something that you want me to read, or go on to something else? Keep going? Okay. Let's see. Keep going. Okay. TMS and TSG were registered federal government contracts, but neither TSG nor TMS ever won a federal government contract. Wait a minute. They were registered federal contractors, but they never won a federal government contract. Wow. That's news to me, right? Defendant Natalie P. Cochran offered various investment opportunities or through TMS and TSG to her family, friends, and other members of her community. The scheme to defraud from approximately June 2017 through at least August 22nd, 2019, defendant Natalie P. Cochran knowingly devised and intended to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud and to obtain money and property by means of materially false and fraudulent pretenses and representations. That is, through false representations about her and her company's qualifications as experienced government contractors. Defendant Natalie P. Cochran fraudulently induced numerous people to invest in TMS and TSG and in phony government contracts purportedly awarded to her, TMS and TSG. Did you guys know that they never got contracts? So she just straight up lied about everything. I thought that they had at least gotten some money. So all the money just came in from her investors. As a result, defendant Natalie P. Cochran defrauded numerous individuals and financial institutions of more than $2.5 million. Wow. I really had no idea. I thought that they had actually were awarded. I had no idea. Manner and means of the scheme. It was, It was a part of the scheme that defendant represented TSG and TMS to be successful government contractors. Defendant Natalie P. Cochran also specifically represented that TSG was a leading supplier to the United States Department of Defense, national security agencies, federal civilian agencies, prime contractors, and worldwide nonprofit organizations. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie P. Cochran fraudulently solicited investments in fake government contracts supposedly awarded to either TSG or TMS for goods that defendant claimed either TSG or TMS were to supply to federal or state government agencies. Hey Jules, how are you doing? Justice Obsessed? How are you guys doing? OnlyFan, I thought they got one or two as well, but apparently they never were awarded a single federal contract. Shirley Roth says she took loans saying she had these contracts. And Gina Farley, I'm still confused about Michael not knowing anything, but that's what the witness said yesterday. Yeah. Crazy, right? It was further a part of the scheme that defendant falsely represented that TSG and TMS acted as brokers for government contracts and that individuals could invest in individual contracts that had been awarded to TSG and TMS. 11. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie P. Cochran fraudulently led individual investors to believe that they were providing the capital that TSG and TMS needed to bid on to fulfill their government contracts, and that the investors could expect to receive as a return on investment a percentage of the profits that TSG and TMS would make from their government contract work. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant sent text messages to potential investors about upcoming federal and state government contracts, and that defendant Natalie P. Cochran supplied existing investors with fake contract numbers that had purportedly been awarded to TSG or TMS. In fact, however, neither TSG nor TMS were ever awarded any federal government contracts, and neither company ever fulfilled or received any payment under state or federal government contracts. So they were doing this for how long? Since like 2017, 2018? They've been doing it for at least 2 years, right? So they were doing this for 2 years. She was just taking people's money, $2.5 million to be exact, and he was spending it. Boy, I thought that they had got some money coming in. So he bought 2 boats, some ATVs. They went on trips. They bought stuff, bought jewelry. I can see how they blew through that $2.5 million real fast. Never gave anything a second thought, Julie says, yeah. All right, 14. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie P. Cochran induced at least 11 people to pay over $2.5 million for the purpose of investing in alleged government contracts purportedly awarded to TSG and TMS. The investors paid TMS and TSG through personal checks, cashier's checks, and wire transfers. 15. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant failed to invest the investors' money as she had promised. Rather, defendant transferred some or all of the investors' funds to her personal and business bank accounts and then used the money for purposes other than those she had described to investors. Let me pull that up. OnlyFans says it would make sense for her to fluff Michael up by letting him spend the fraud money. Yeah. Julie says, and she had the gall to look her family and friends in the eye on a daily basis. Agreed. Dreama Landry, Natalie is just pure evil. Takes a certain kind of person to do something like that, that's for sure. Fala, as Mr. Victor says, she was a bad girl. And Julie says, yep, she had the motive and the means. All right, let's move on. $16. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie P. Cochran used later investors' funds to pay earlier investors a partial return on their investment, to lull these earlier investors into thinking that their investments were real and not fraudulent. That right there is the definition of a Ponzi scheme. Number 16 is, if anybody wants to know what a Ponzi scheme is, number 16 is what a Ponzi scheme is. And Mandy says, so Michael was unknowingly spending stolen money from friends and family thinking it was legit earnings. That is true. Child Junkies United, she probably thought if Michael found out, what could he say, because she would say he was in on it. That's true. That's true. She brought him in for sure. All right, 17. It was further a part of the scheme that beginning in February of 2018, defendant Natalie P. Cochran applied for and did receive cash advances from at least 3 financial companies, falsely representing that TSG was a government contractor and providing bank statements showing deposits of investor funds, which she fraudulently represented to her business sales. Yeah, remember pyramid schemes? I do. I do. I have unwittingly have been a part of those. Once I found out what they were, I'm like, oh, yeah, no. 18. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie P. Cochran promised and pledged to the finance companies a portion of TSG's accounts receivables, which in fact consisted of investor funds to secure the cash advances. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant used the cash advances from the finance companies to make lulling payments to investors to deceive them into believing that their investments were real. 20. It was further part of the scheme that beginning in December of 2018, defendant applied for and did receive lines of credit and loans from banks by falsely reporting her business's income to secure the loans and lines of credit, the proceeds of which she also used to make lulling payments to investors. 21. It was further part of the scheme that the defendant opened accounts at City National Bank, branch banking and Trust, BBT, we heard about them, and JP Morgan Chase Bank and First Community Bank. So we heard about the BB&T. That's Michael Nexon. He came in and he testified. He was also Bank of America, though. All right, CNB, BB&T, and JP Morgan Chase Bank and FCB were all FDIC insured financial institutions. Furthermore, each of these banks had a branch in or near Beckley, Raleigh County, West Virginia. It was further a part of this scheme that defendant Natalie P. Cochran made false and fraudulent representations to investors by wire about the status of their investments in TMS and TSG's accounts receivable from the federal and state governments in order to conceal the true value of their investments and what she had done with the investors' money. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant created false and fraudulent excuses for her delay in paying investors their returns on their investment. For example, defendant Natalie P. Cochran falsely and fraudulently represented to investors that she could not make repayments to them because the government had not sent her the payments that were owed to her from her company's contract work. We heard that. That was the government shutdown, part of that. Further, defendant blamed a government... I should just keep reading. Further, defendant blamed a government shutdown for a delay in receiving payments from the federal government, even though she knew that TSG and TSM were never awarded any federal government contracts. See, that's new to me. I had no idea. I had no idea that they had never been awarded a contract. Right? Oh, I'm going to get tired of reading at the time it gets to the really good part. I hope not. Oh, Jenny, I'm sorry. Your favorite jumping spider passed away? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. Sorry, Jenny. That stinks. It was further part of the scheme that defendant sent investors fake emails about the status of their investments by forwarding emails that defendant had purportedly received from federal governmental employees and banking industry employees about her company's purported government contracts or pending payments from the government contracts. In fact, defendant used the government and banking employees' means of identification without lawful authority to mislead her investors. Wow. It was further a part of the scheme that on or about July 24, 2019, the defendant filed a petition under Chapter 7 of the Bankruptcy Code seeking bankruptcy protection to stave off creditors. However, she did not list any of the investors as creditors. So they declared bankruptcy as well. I didn't know that. '27. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie P. Cochran thereafter filed a document in her bankruptcy case under penalty of perjury, which contained a material omission. That is, defendant failed to list her ownership interests in TSG and TMS in response to a question that asked defendant to state her business interests. Defendant also failed to inform the bankruptcy court that she had given a financial statement of her businesses to financial institutions, including Premier Bank and FCB. Defendant also failed to inform the bankruptcy court that she had paid several debts owed to insiders and given a gift value of over $600 to an individual before her bankruptcy filing. Trial Junkies United. She should have realized even her hero, Bernie Madoff, pleaded guilty to 11 federal felonies. The amount missing from client accounts was almost $65 billion. Yeah, he got 150 years. So after Michael was gone, so Michael passed away February 11th of 2019, and she's filing for bankruptcy July 24th, 2019. Yep. Only fan. I just realized her name spells Natalie P. Cochran. Natalie P. Cochran. Oh, Julie asks, I wonder if she had external help. Yeah. Yes. Did hubby know he had passed away February 11th? This was July 24th. So, as OnlyFans says, husband was passed by then. Hey, Shirley Roth, not very women do Ponzi schemes yet. And Drunky the Bear, this is not an intentional crime scam. How can you do this every day to people? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. This is such an intentional. Yes, this is such an intentional. Agreed. Cajun Bayou Queen. Makes sense, though. If a government contract was given, then it had scam. Then scam would have been found out faster. Yeah. Then the scam would have been found out faster. That is true. Mandy Strong says, it's no wonder she had an heart issue, the stress of keeping up with all the lies. I agree. All right, let's move on. Wire transmissions on or about the dates specified below for each count at or near Raleigh County, West Virginia, in the Southern District of West Virginia, and elsewhere, having devised and intended to devise the above described scheme to fraud and to obtain money and property by means of materially false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises, and for the purpose of executing the scheme, defendant knowingly transmitted and caused to be transmitted by means of wire and radio communications in interstate commerce the writings, signs, signals, pictures, and sounds described below for each count, each transmission constituting a separate count. So here's some of the transmission. So wire transmission of 14,270, 15,897, 92,109, 68,000, 74, 511,000, wow, 68,000 and 5,000. Wow. And there's more. 58,934, 1,000. Wow. And here's the bank fraud. So from in or about December of 2018 until April 22nd, again, Michael passed away February 11th. So Defendant did knowingly devise and intend to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud and to obtain money, funds, credits, and property owned by and under the custody and control of the financial institutions, of a financial institution, that is, Premier Bank, by means of materially false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises. So this is how she's defrauding the bank. So, it was part of the scheme that defendant knowingly submitted financial statements in support of loan applications to Premier Bank that contained materially false representations, including representations regarding TSG and TMS's value and profits that were untrue. So she went to the bank and she said, give me a loan and, I'm bringing in $10 million, when in fact she was not. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant knowingly represented to Premier Bank documents that were false and misleading in an attempt to induce Premier Bank to extend her and TSG loans or lines of credit. It was further part of the scheme that in December of 2018, defendant submitted to Premier Bank a loan application in which she and TSG attempted to obtain a $100,000 line of credit. On the loan, defendant falsely represented that TSG was involved in the government wholesale supply and contracting business. The collateral for this loan was to be the accounts receivable of TSG. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant also submitted a false personal financial statement for this December 2018 loan application that falsely listed her and her husband's total assets, holy smokes, as $523,343,361. Wow. There's the $500 million. Over $500 million. TSG's total assets at $91,571. And the net worth of TSG is $934,503,865. Holy mackerel. That's a lot of bread. Well, Jules, are you the only one that would be questioning my spouse about where this money was coming from? Apparently, either Mike knew about it and nobody else knew that he knew about it, or he didn't question. That's what came out in testimony. The fraud investigator said Mike never knew. All he did was just spend, and he never knew. But she's saying that she's just saying these are their assets. She's not saying that they didn't have that much. They only had $2.5 million. And yet he was still spending. But this was also after he had passed away. Don't forget, Jules. This was on April. Wasn't this April? Yeah, this is April 22nd. Mike's already gone. Michael's not with us anymore when she's saying this. So, yeah, he could have questioned it. He should have questioned it. Did he question it? We don't know. He may have questioned it, but we just don't know. OnlyFan yet has the gall to assert it was Michael alone through her counsel and family. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Trial Junkies United. Was anything said about Michael having life insurance? Why wouldn't she do that too? I don't remember anything about life insurance. Remember, they didn't have medical insurance. That's why she didn't go for her cancer treatment, because she had medical insurance issues. Their words. Shirley Roth, she was faking all of the documents. Yep. And Brat says, so the hundreds of millions really were just monopoly money, all a smokescreen. Absolutely. And Jules is, I'm talking about all of his spending. Yeah, that's what the defense was saying. That was the entire defense was saying Michael is doing all of this. He's buying ATVs. He's buying boats. They're going on trips to Paris. He's going to Louis Vuitton and spending money. He didn't know about this. That was all that they were talking about. They hammered that constantly. But the fraud investigators said there was no indication that Michael knew. And in fact, yeah, there was no indication that he knew that was happening. So, Mandy Strong, the deets are in the victim impact statements. Yes, Mandy, we will try to get to them. We'll try to get to them. Hang tight, Mandy, hang tight. It was further a part of the scheme that defendants submitted another loan application to Premier Bank for $250,000 line of credit, and that she included a false 2018 tax return as part of the loan application. So that tax return came up during the trial. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see, what did they... Let me see here. Income tax. Was it income tax? Mike broke the law by not filing income tax. Yeah, there was something about that they... So $12 million were gross income for TMS. Last reported wages were 2013. So just how does Michael not know about the Ponzi scheme? Michael signed checks. Yeah, I thought that I had. I thought I'd written it down. I just can't find it right now. Okay. Let's continue on. Count 13, aggravated identity theft. Oh yeah, don't forget that she had an alias. She had an alias and Betsy was her name. Betsy was her alias. All right, let's see if this talks about her alias. On or about August 28, 2018, within Southern District of West Virginia, defendant knowingly transferred, possessed, and used without lawful authority a means of identification of another person. That is, the name and unique electronic identification address of A.B., a person known to the grand jury during and in related to a felony violation, wire fraud, and while knowing that the means of identification belonged to an actual person. Oh, let's find out who this actual person was. So on or about April 12, 2019, this is after Michael has been passed, used the name and unique electronic identification address of A.B., a person known to the grand jury. Okay, let's find out. Is there any more? March 19th, again, here's another one, means an identification, a unique electronic identification address of KB. So we've got an AB and a KB. AB and KB, still no Betsy. More, okay, more. Oh, here's BB. Oh, maybe this is Betsy. Electronic identification address of BB, a person known to the grand jury. Okay, so that's AB. Oh, wait a minute. Are they going? Oh, AB, KB, and BB. They all have the same last initial of B. Wire fraud. Okay, the scheme. From on or about June 19, 2019 until about June 26, 2019, defendant knowingly devised and intended to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud and to obtain money and property by means of materially fraudulent pretenses and representations, that is, through false representations about her company's qualifications as experienced government contractors. Defendant Natalie P. Cochran attempted to sell a portion of TSG, approximately 49% of the company, to a potential buyer. So now she's trying to sell it. So Michael's passed away in February and she's trying to sell it. Let's find out about this. Manner and means. It was part of the scheme to fraudulently, God, I can't say that, fraudulently misrepresented to the buyer that TSG was an experienced government contractor. It was further part of the scheme that defendant texted and emailed the potential buyer that she was an experienced government contractor and that TSG was a valuable company. We never heard about this. Right? We never heard about this. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie Cochran, that's for you, therapist and OnlyFan, Natalie Cochran, agreed to teach the potential buyer how to apply for government contracts as a condition of the sales. Right? She tried to sell it? Whoa. Right? Who did she sell it to? Mandy says, February 1st, 5 days before Michael is deleted, Natalie makes up the fake auditor and told Michael that's who is holding up the money. Yep. OnlyFan. If she really used the name Betsy Boop, I would salute her. Yeah, that would be funny. It was further a part of the scheme that defendant Natalie Cochran provided documents to the potential buyer that were false and misleading in an attempt to induce the potential buyer into believing TSG was an experienced government contractor and valuable company. It was further part of the scheme that defendant Natalie Cochran emailed the potential buyer a fraudulent 2018 tax return of TSG, which falsely reflected TSG's adjusted gross income. Defendant sent this tax return in an attempt to sell a 49% ownership stake of TSG for the price of $4.9 million. Wow, with the buyer to pay $50,000 up front and then $1 million a year until the purchase of the 49% ownership interest was complete. Don't you think this person would figure it out? Here's $50,000. They would figure it out within seconds, or they would look at the books. You don't spend that kind of money without looking at the books. Oy. As a result, defendant Natalie Cochran attempted to defraud an individual of $4.9 million and did in fact defraud the individual of $50,000. Wow. I agree, Trial Junkies United. It doesn't make sense trying to sell a business that doesn't exist because the buyer would know once they took a deep dive. Was she planning on leaving the country? I don't know. She got balls of steel. I agree. Oops. Yep, unless she was planning to scoot. Hey, K-Swan, this lady's something for sure. Yeah, eventually she wanted more money, for sure. All right, I can't imagine somebody would give her $50,000 without looking, All right, wire transmissions on or about June 21st, the 20th to the 21st, 2019. And again, Michael has been gone since February 11th of that year. Having devised and intended to devise the above described scheme to defraud and to obtain money and property by means of material, false, and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises, and for the purpose of executing the scheme, defendant Natalie Cochran knowingly transmitted and caused to be transmitted by means of wire and radio communications in interstate commerce certain writings, signs, signals, pictures, sounds that defendant sent a text message to the potential buyer about the sale of TSG while the buyer was located in North Carolina. Okay. Yep. If you want to scoot with 50 mil, hit me up and I'll get you an island nearby. Yep. I also have a bridge you can buy for cheap. Will Johnson, greedy people. Agreed. Trial Junkies United. The first time they called any of these so-called government contacts a call, and they asked what are talking about, it would all come out. Yes, I agree. And Brat says, in theory, she submitted the paperwork, not, and then she reported they got the contract, not, and then she managed the contract, not. Widespread panic. She had to have been planning to relocate to Vietnam or somewhere. Yeah, along with Donna, right? And Julie says, I think Michael got really suspicious and she offed him. Well, Michael was on the computer, according to his son. He was on his computer a lot with the contracts. So that's his son. K-Swan, I can't imagine doing what she did to family and friends, I know. Will Johnson, I guess it's true. There's a sucker born every minute. Yeah. Brendan Meyer, prosecution should have brought this up. They tried, and they did bring up a lot, and the defense kept saying, we're not here to retry the fraud case. We're not here to retry the Ponzi scheme. We're here just to try. So they did try, and they got in some of it. Case one, Michael just likes spending the money. Boss Muma. Was Michael still with us when fraud investigation started? Well, let's see. What am I on? Page 20, page 16. This started in... This was September 24th. This is when it was filed. So when did they actually start it? I think it was afterwards. Because she... No, Michael was, let's see, I think it was after he was gone. He died in February of 2019. She was charged September 21st of 2020. And this was brought September 24th of 2019. So I think he's gone. I think he's gone at this point. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so North Carolina. All right, here is the unlawful monetary transactions, counts 18 through 24. Wow. At all relevant times, BB&T, CNB, and FCB and Premier Bank were financial institutions as defined, which engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate commerce. They were all FDIC-insured banks. They were all had branches in Beckley, West Virginia. And Premier had a branch in, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, also in West Virginia. On or about the date listed below, defendant knowingly engaged in and caused others to engage in a monetary transaction by, through, or to a financial institution as specified below for each count. In criminally derived property, that of which was greater than $10,000 and was derived from specified unlawful activities, that is, wire fraud. While engaging in and causing others to engage in monetary transactions, defendant knew that the property involved in the monetary transactions was criminally derived. So she withdrew $37,500 to purchase a 1965 Shelby. Okay, so Mike's still alive. That's May 16, 2018. He's still around. So that's the Cobra. They talked about that 65 Cobra a lot. She withdrew $31,729 October 9th. Again, Mike's still around. October 19th of 2018, she withdraws $11,225 to purchase a 06 Denali. It's 2018 and she's buying a 2006 Denali? You're buying a 12-year-old car? Okay. October 21st of 2018, she withdrew $14,572 to purchase earrings. Okay, there's the $14,000. We heard about that. Defense brought that up. December 3rd of 2018, withdraw $21,904 to purchase firearms. Then they transferred $20,000 to an investor. And then they withdrew $112,000 to transfer for the benefit of an investor. And that was, okay, so Michael was gone after those two transfers. So we heard about, Robert Heisman said that a transfer of withdrawal of $10,000 in and of itself isn't going to flag. And this is all based on the Patriot Act after 9/11. So you're not necessarily going to get flagged, but if you do multiple withdrawals of 10,000 or more, then you will get flagged. I think it might show up on a like if you withdraw $10,000, it might show up. Like somebody may be like, okay, we got to keep an eye on that. But she withdrew multiple over a short period of time, I should say. So from October 9th, the 19th, and the 21st, she did 31,000, 11,000, and 14,000. So that's what he was talking about yesterday, if you guys remember that. That he was saying multiple, within a short period of time, multiple withdrawals of over 10,000, she got flagged. Yeah, Mandy, boss has a new Denali, nicest truck I've ever seen and rode in, luxury, but it's brand new. Yeah, why buy a 12-year-old car? I don't get that. Oh, hey, Florida PI Sam, good to see you. You're on your phone, can't tag anyone. Just thought I'd dip in to see where you all were up to while taking a break from your wire fraud case. Well, that's what we're going over right now. Thank you for popping in. Random fancies. He eventually wanted to show where the millions were. We pick up where the case starts. Oh, I got a cat coming in. Cat coming in hot. You see her? That's her, the freakazoid. There she is. All right, I'll be back. Okay, wait. Freak. Seriously. Come here. Okay. All right. Okay, let's continue on. Oh, Jules, we made Reddit again? Oh boy. Hey, therapist. Lots of mechanical issues? Oh, Crystal Limited Edition, how are you? All right, let's continue on. All right, so all of these, okay, so again, as we were talking about, if you withdraw $10,000 or more multiple times over a short period of time, you will get flagged. Do not do that. You will get flagged. All right, let's see what else. Bankruptcy fraud. Oh, yeah, that's right. Now she got into bankruptcy. Here, we'll get to this. Trial Junkies United. Wouldn't you think someone would want to see some of these things she was saying she got on contracts? She got contracts on? Oh, the banks, you would think. You would think. Okay. On or about July 24th, 2019. And again, Michael's been gone since February. Excuse me for a minute. So Michael's been gone since February. And this is July 24th. Natalie P. Cochran caused to be filed in the United States Bankruptcy Court for West Virginia a voluntary petition for bankruptcy under Chapter 7 of Title 11 of the United States Code, naming herself as the debtor, not TSG or TMS. So she did personal bankruptcy. She did not file for the what do you call it? Her business. Sorry, I'm having trouble. Great. I can't scan. I can't. My mouse is acting up right now. Awesome. Oh, come on. Okay, we'll go this route. On or about July 24, 2019, in Charleston, Kanawha County, West Virginia, and within the Southern District of West Virginia and elsewhere, having devised and intended to devise the above described scheme to defraud, and for the purpose of executing and concealing that scheme and attempting to do so, defendant Natalie P. Cochran knowingly filed and caused to be filed a document in her pending Chapter 7 bankruptcy case, a proceeding under Title 11 of the United States Code. That is, defendant Natalie P. Cochran filed and caused to be filed a statement of financial affairs that contained false and fraudulent information. The false statements and fraudulent information reported by defendant within her statement of financial affairs are listed below. In response to question 5 in part 2, defendant falsely and fraudulently reported that she received $200,000 in gross salary in calendar year 2018, when in fact she had received much more than $200,000 from TSG and TMS during 2018. In response to question 7 in part 3, defendant falsely and fraudulently reported that she had not made a payment on a debt owed to anyone who was an insider, when in fact she made several payments on debts owed to family members within the past year. In response to question 13 in part 5, defendant falsely and fraudulently, they're just going to kill me today with that word, reportedly that she had not given any gifts with a total value of more than $600 per person in the last 2 years, when in fact she had given a gift of earrings valued at over $600 to an individual known to the grand jury. Defendant failed to list any business-related properties that she owned and had an interest in, and admitted her ownership interests in TSG and TMS when specifically asked by question 27 of part 11. Also, within her statement of financial affairs, defendant falsely stated that within the 2 years before filing bankruptcy, she had not given a financial statement to anyone about her business in response to question 28 of part 11. In fact, defendant Natalie P. Cochran then and there well knew she had given Premier Bank financial statements regarding TSG and TMS when applying for a loan in December 2018 and April 2019. Interesting. That's in violation of Title 18. Trial Junkies United. Sounds like she is one of those liars that believes her own lies. Yeah. Case 1. One of the victim's statements was a banker in the case. Mandy Strong. She probably showed the bank the fake contracts. Wow, she really did a number on people, right? Oh, Fala, hurry up, I'm going to fall asleep. Am I putting you to sleep? Okay, let's continue on. Count 26, false oath in bankruptcy proceedings. On or about July 24, 2019, again, Michael had passed February 11th of 2019, so this is afterwards. Natalie P. Cochran cause to be filed in the United States Bankruptcy Court of West Virginia, voluntary petition for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, naming herself as the debtor. Why did it do that? Okay. On or about August 22nd, 2019, defendant Natalie P. Cochran appeared as a debtor before the meeting of creditors held in Beckley, Raleigh County, West Virginia, in the Southern District of West Virginia. The purpose of the meeting of creditors was to determine the assets and debts of defendant in order to help the Chapter 7 trustee and the bankruptcy court manage the debtor's bankruptcy estate. It was material to the hearing to determine, among other things, whether defendant Natalie P. Cochran had received more from her businesses than the $200,000 salary she had reported on an earlier filed statement of financial affairs. It was also material to determine whether defendant had given any gifts that would collectively value over $600 to individuals during the past 2 years. So here they're trying to figure it out, right? They are trying to figure it out. Oh, they put a light on? Yep. All right. Thank you, JM. We will pay attention. We'll pay attention. On or about August 22nd, 2019, in Beckley, West Virginia, Natalie P. Cochran, while appearing as a Chapter 7 debtor before the Chapter 7 trustee and then while under oath, did knowingly and fraudulently make a false oath and amount about relevant issues during and in relation to her then pending bankruptcy case concerning the salary she had received from her businesses and the gifts she had given in the past 2 years as follows. We're keeping an eye on the court, guys. Don't worry. In 2018, it identifies your income as self-employed salary of $200,000. Is that correct? She says correct. Did you ever receive any money from either of the businesses, TSG and TMS, that I have referenced? Answer, just the salary that I put on the bankruptcy. Question, within 2 years before you filed bankruptcy, did you give any gifts with a total value of more than $600 per person? You listed no. Answer, Question, is that correct? Answer, because I did not. Yes. The aforementioned statements of defendant Natalie P. Cochran were false, as she then and there well knew and believed that she had received much more than $200,000 in the form of assets and money from TSG and TMS, and that she had given an individual known to the grand jury a gift of jewelry valued over $600. Notice of forfeiture. Notice of forfeiture. The allegations contained in this indictment are hereby realleged and incorporated by reference for the purposes of getting notice of forfeiture pursuant. Notice is hereby given under Section 2461. Criminal forfeiture is applicable to any offenses for which forfeiture is authorized by any other statute. The following property is subject to forfeiture in accordance to section yada, yada, yada. All property which constitutes or is derived from proceeds of the violation set forth in this bill of information. All property involved in such violations or traceable to property involved in such violations. And if as set forth, any property described in A or B cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third party, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, has been substantially diminished in value, or has been commingled with other property which cannot be divided without difficulty, all other property of the defendants to the extent of the value of the property described. Following property is subject to forfeiture on one or more of the grounds stated above. A forfeiture money judgment in the amount of at least $1 million, such amount constituting of the proceeds of the violation set forth in this bill. $444,935 check for all funds within First Community Bank account ending The Shelby Cobra replica, seized during the investigation. The Yamaha 2017 Yamaha motorcycle. 2014 Big Tex dump trailer, seized during the investigation. 2017 Yamaha motorcycle. So he had two. He had two 2017 Yamaha motorcycles. Interesting. 2018 Polaris model, seized during the investigation. A 6x14 AFG Big T trailer. A Yamaha Timberwolf ATV, a 2017 Honda Rubicon ATV. They talked about the ATVs. 2 diamond hoop earrings, and a Toyota 4Runner. Okay, wow, more. 2008 Dodge Ram 2500, a 2014 Sundown Rancher trailer, and then 3 properties located 4H Lake Drive, Eisenhower Drive, and then Parkwood Drive. The grand jury probable cause to believe the following properties is subject to forfeiture: 4H Drive, Eisenhower, and Parkwood Drive, and then a $44,935 check for all funds within First Community Bank accounting ending in. All right, so that's that. Oh, what do you drive, therapist? You know. All right, so that's that. Trial Junkies United. How many vehicles do 2 people need? Justice Obsessed. I'm curious what the properties looked like. One of them he was remodeling. One of these was for Chris Davis's aunt. That I know. I'm not sure which one. Well, they lived at the 4H Lake Drives. I'm pretty sure they lived there. They mentioned that name a lot. I think that's where they lived. And then another one, they were renovating for the aunt. The aunt. Oh, Will Johnson, you're back. Good to see you. Ken Rosenberg, thank you. Glad you're, or welcome, I guess. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so now these are the, let me see. Therapist You Know just posted. Let me see if I can grab these. Oop, access to these pages has been denied. Therapist. Let me try that again. Okay, there it is. All right, so this is the 4H. Let me pull this one up. All right, so this is the, okay. So this is the house at 4H. So it's off market, but $362,000. 3,000 square feet. I think this was their main residence. I think this is where they lived at 4H. And who knows what remodeling they did, but, you know, there's the countertops, right, where he supposedly fell, hit his head. There's the countertop, I think. That's the picture right where the rug is. That's where he was located. Yeah, decent house. Again, I don't know how much renovating has happened since then. I don't know how much renovating they've done, but decent looking house, right? Oh, there's a guitar. Yeah, that's nice. I'd move into that house. That's a nice looking house. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Nice big property. Nice island. I feel like we're just seeing the same pictures over and over again. All right. Fireplace. Patio. Elk antlers. House is so boring, no color whatsoever. Well, can always paint it. I love the hardwood floors, though. Pretty decent size master bedroom. I'm assuming that's the master bedroom. Yeah, I would totally move into this house. This is a cool house. I like the property. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice big property. Oh, there's a little mother-in-law suite. And now we're back. All right. I think that's cool. Where's the dented kitchen countertop? Yeah. I live in like the equivalent of a closet in that house. Yep, I've been there, done that. Could anyone tell if the kids in the pictures of the entryway were their kids? That's a good question. So you think those are their kids? Those could be, right? Those kids right there. Because Nicole, I believe, was her name. Was that the daughter's name? Yeah, Nicole. She had blonde hair. And then Mac, he had blonde hair as well. That could be them, you guys. That could be them right there. Maybe this is from them. Maybe. Child Junkies United, you had parquet wood floors in the first place. Doctor refinished them. They were awesome. Yeah, parquet is nice. If so, that would mean they lived there, and when these photos were taken, all of this was their stuff. Yeah, right? I mean, it kind of looks like that could be them. Because if she gets arrested, who's going to have time to pack up the house? The kids? I mean, I suppose. Are the kids still living there? And who's paying mortgage if the kids are living there? You like that coat hanger thing? Yeah, it's kind of cool. JM.
So I'm taking.
All right, let's try and find the, okay, there's the kitchen sink. Not the one closest to us on the island, but the one further away where that rug is. I think that's where she found him. Right? And then that's where, see that rug? I think, yeah, we're dropping.
I can see. Right.
So I think where that rug is, that's pretty much where Michael landed. Right? Yeah, I think that's where Michael was, where that rug is. I'm trying to find. I took a screenshot and I can't find the screenshot now. I took a screenshot of him, and now I can't find it, of course. So I can't compare. Sorry, therapist. I know. Was it the same rug? I've got to find. I took a screenshot of it, and now I don't know where my screenshots are because I've switched to another computer, and I don't think I carried it over. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. It would have been during closings. Let's see, where else would I have put it? Was it during closings? Let me see. Trying to find the, Michael slumped over. Do they show it during the openings? Not during openings. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, you know? There he is. Okay. All right, I found I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Okay. It's really blurry. Oh, this is a terrible, terrible photo. We're not really going to be able to see much, but I did find it. All right. All right, let's do compare. Let's do a comparison. It's a terrible photo, guys. So I know there have been other ones that are better, but we can kind of maybe try and see. Yeah, it's a terrible photo. So just bear in mind this is a terrible photo. But there's Mike. So what do you think? So looks like the rug is not there. Right? It's not the best photo, but I don't see the rug. Looks like looks like that's him. I mean, that's the refrigerator back there, kind of where his back is, and then his head is by the sink, if you will, right? And I don't see the rug. Right? What do you guys think? Think the flooring has changed? I know, the picture is terrible. That's what they showed on... there was another better one, I think, a better quality, but that's from yesterday. I couldn't find that. I figured, let me just pull this one up. But no rug. I don't see a rug, per se. Nothing so far from the jury, guys. Think the flooring has changed? Looks like it still could be the same flooring. It's hard to tell, though. Yeah, I think that's the color of the cabinets. You can kind of see the countertop. Yeah, it looks the same to me, Hellcat. I agree. How does his head get under the cabinets? Baca asks. I guess when he slumps down, falls down, and I don't know. Yeah, K-Swan said he was not given the medical attention needed. She just took pictures. Check our text messages. Frames. Yep, we are dragging. We are losing frames, guys. Sorry. Internet is acting all crappy. All right, let's pull this one up. Therapist, you know. Oh, Jesus. All right, so here's another one. Therapist, you know, found this one. Let me pull this one up. Okay, this is another one. Let's see. This is from Therapist You Know. Thank you for this, Kristen, by the way. Oh, come on. Okay, that's it. I can't open it up anymore. So yeah, that's totally the same cabinets. So his head's not really underneath the cabinets per se. Kind of just looked like that in the other angle. Well, I wonder if I can I? Oh, check it out. Hold on, I can transform it. Rotate it. Here, rotate. Transform, rotate it counterclockwise. Right? You think that's different flooring? Really? Look at the squares. That's the same flooring. Right? Floor is definitely different, you guys? You think so? You guys are thinking that's a different flooring. That looks, the squares, that looks the same to me. Those big squares, those are huge. Those are like 2-foot squares, or right? 18-inch squaring. That looks the same to me. I guess you change the flooring after you make a chalk outline on the floor where your husband was laying. Design skills are coming out. Color is off, but think about the different cameras that are being used. You know, different cameras that are being used, cell phone versus, probably a more professional phone, and then also the lighting, the angle. I'm looking at the size, right? Look at the size of the tiling. And also look at the modeling, if you will. Look at the size of the tile. I think those are the same, but... Yeah, they both, didn't see the squares at first. I think it's the same. That's all I'm looking at. Just look at the squares. Same floor, different lighting, different time of day, etc., 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 etc. Yeah, I think it's the lighting too. Just look at the size of the tiling, that's all. Yeah, 2 foot. They could have put same tile size, just different color. Sure. All right, well, we don't need to argue about if it's the same floor or not. It is what it is. That's him. You know, the cabinets appear to be the same, but that's definitely him. So, all right. Yeah, the floor is the floor. Who cares? We have other things to argue about and disagree about. All right, let's see. What else can we move on to? We can get rid of... sorry, Mike. I was going to say we can get rid of you. I'm sorry, Mike. All right, let's see. What else can we look at? Let's see. Let's see, what else can we look at? I need this. So Aaron tried to locate the documents on Pacer, but had issues logging in, I think. Or let's see, they weren't available. And we got charged 10 cents for a search that nothing came up for Natalie. Okay, so Aaron was able to log into Pacer, but nothing comes up for Natalie. And we got charged 10 cents just for the search. Meh. So we won't be able to read, I guess the impact statements are on there. Let me see if I can find anything more. Let's see. See if anybody was kind enough to put them online so we can look at them. It does not appear to be so. Well, Lawyer Lee has them. I'm not sure where or how she got them, but Aaron was not able to find them. They may be out there. Just sometimes they're difficult to find. We have that press release. She does need to spill her secrets. Yeah, Pacer blows. They're supposed to change it soon, but they've also been saying that forever. Gina votes no to hanging pots and pans from the ceiling. Anyone else have an opinion? I don't mind it. Over the island like that? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. You guys think it's an eyesore? If they're nice pots, if you keep them clean, for sure. But frozen on my TV in here, I thought, deep in thought. No, we're having internet issues, Krista. So our internet is crapping out on us even before your eyes. So if you guys get kicked out, just come back. Forever issues with Comcast. Therapist, you know, very farmhousey. Yeah, I like it. Hellcat, I don't mind it either. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, I don't mind the pots as long as they are nice. Handy for percussion with a wooden spoon, Gordon. That's true. They look like copper, right? They look like copper. Copper bottoms for sure. Hey, Mona. I'm short, so those pans are too high. Widespread panic. I'd actually like hanging pots for our nice pots, but not for the Goodwill quality ones from early in our marriage. JM says lots of cleaning all the time with those pots. Hola, depends on who is doing the cleaning. All right, I want to watch previous testimony. Widespread panic. That's why you make your husband the family cook. Ken Rosenberg. Wow, there's like 2 Natalie Cochran docs on Court Listener. I would have expected more giving the attention. All right. I'm going to let's close the poll because we're past. I'm going to end the poll because we're already past 2 hours now. Let's see what you guys thought. So 0 to 2 hours, which is now officially over, was 12%. 2 to 4 hours, which we are now into, is 54%. 4 to 6 hours, 21%. And a hung jury, 12%. Well, was there any testimony you guys want to read here? Oh, okay. Thank you, Mandy. See what lawyer Lee says. Yes, Kathy Swan, we will be picking up on Colin Griffith as soon as we have a verdict here. That is our next trial to be following. Yes, Mandy, she would be a great guest to have on our channel. Oh, Kathy Swan, Kay Swan, are you saying one and the same? Kay Swan and Kathy Swan? Yes, Colin Griffith is our next trial. We are going there as soon as we have a verdict here, and this is, I don't know if they're going to do sentencing or not, but as soon as we're done here, we are going to be going over to Colin Griffith. You know what I want to do? I want to get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. And let's go back to this, just in case something happens. Brendan Meyer, that trial is about, he's 17 years old and he claimed self-defense when he shot his father last year, and then he stabbed his mother this year in Florida. So he shot his father, I think in, where did he shoot him? Like he was out, Kansas maybe, Oklahoma? Sorry, it's just starting, so I'm not 100% sure. Colin Griffith was indicted for first degree and will be charged as an adult in the offing of his mother, Catherine Griffith, in Auburndale, Florida. She was stabbed almost a year after Colin fatally shot his father in Oklahoma in February. In the case of his father's passing, charges were dropped following claims of self-defense, but the incident raised concerns about Colin's behavior and history. In the latest incident, witnesses reported seeing Colin, then 17, dragging his mother by her hair into her home shortly before she was found dead. He says that she fell on the knife in her neck 5 times. It's one of those kind of things. Colin had called 911 and claimed that his mother had fallen onto a knife during an argument. However, the ME determined that Catherine's injuries were inconsistent with this explanation. leading authorities to classify her deletion as a homicide. He's now facing first-degree kidnapping in violation of a no-contact order. So it'll be an interesting one. Oh, so Kathy Swan, you have no idea who K Swan is. Okay, cool. Jury question or verdict? Really? Are we at that point? I'm not seeing anything yet, guys. We're on the feed. We are on the feed. So if anything happens, we are right there. Let's go. I did see that, Trial Junkies United. Yeah, when you see the interviews of the cops talking to the mother after an argument, you can see how worried the cops are. Yeah, because Colin's saying Colin was arrested. Oh, no, he was Baker acted. So he's Baker acted after an argument, and he's telling the cops that he wants to delete his mom, and the cops come back and tell the mom, Catherine, hey, your son's saying all these things. We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't come back and tell you this. And then later that day, they let him out, I think, and then later that day, it happens. Terrible, right? Yeah, sort of how the lady fell on the corn rake twice. That was Todd Mullis. Out in Iowa. Kathy Swan, Colin is definitely the common denominator there, for sure. Yeah, Oklahoma was his dad, Florida was his mom. Hey, Patricia, how are you? Checking in. Not sure how long I can stay on, but wanted to thank you for our little community. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much for dropping in. Appreciate it. Trial Junkies United. I wonder if Oklahoma will reopen the father's case. I think they are. I think they are. Let me check that out. I believe that they are. They're re-examining it. I'm almost positive. Oh, there's new body cam of him getting arrested. Okay, no, that's him getting arrested before. Yeah, so he was arrested for domestic battery of hurting his mom. He spent the night in jail, but then on his way home, he said comments that worried deputies. Don't put me in the car with her. I'm going to delete her, a deputy told Griffith. He told those deputies that he wanted to be put in foster care. I'm in a constant state of fight or flight, and I don't know. If I think she's going to do something, even if she might not, I might act. Yikes. So I'm not finding anything about the Oklahoma thing, but I would say they're probably going to reopen it. That would be my guess. He's 17, Dreama. He's 17. Yeah, Kathy Swan. I think he figures that defense worked first time and it would again. He didn't say self-defense this time. He said that she fell on the knife, and I think she was stabbed 4 or 5 times, like in the neck and the chest. Widespread panic. I've heard about that one. Any dirty cops involved? Let me see. Oh, is this the one you're talking about? Kerrville, the one girl was stabbed like 17 times in the back of the neck. Her family is still trying to get her deletion and ruled a homicide if it was ruled self-deletion. Yeah, I mean, serious? Article from September. Okay, I'll look that up. I actually want to pull this one up. Rachel B. How long have they been deliberating? Since 9:35. 9:35. Almost 2 hours. All right. I'm sorry. Article from open link in new tab. What do you got for us? Teen arrested. Now keeps murdering. Yeah, they had a very long fight. She fell on a knife and just deleted herself. So he was 15 when he said his dad had a knife and he cornered him and had to shoot him. So he was 15, so that happened when he was 15, and now he's 17. Yeah, and they Baker Act him, so then he's getting, so they Baker Act him, bring him in, then after he's released from the Baker Act, he makes a statement, well, I'll delete myself or I'll delete my mother by shooting or stabbing her. That's when the police came over and they told Catherine that. And then I think later that day, they came back. Oh, wait a minute. 17 years of age, he shot and deleted his father and got away with it. Then he stabbed his mother in the neck so hard that the neck went all the way through and was to the back of her neck. Okay, so if Lincoln County, which is in Oklahoma, if they find any new evidence that is both relevant and credible in the investigation of the father's passing, they will reevaluate the case. So that is ultimately what we needed to see. So thank you for that, therapist. Appreciate it. And yes, they are charging him as an adult. They are charging him as an adult-only fan. That is correct. Mandy Strong, 5 times. Yeah, not buying it once is possible due to a freak accident, but 5 times? Yeah, no. Jewel says, it was very sad. We didn't find out she was deleted until a few days later. Oh, is Afton Ford with us? Thank you for joining us. There you are. Hello, hello. Listening from work. Thank you for joining us. Fala says, then again, I've been putting socks on and kneed myself in the nose before. I think I've actually done that too. I think I've done that too. Trial Junkies United. Not good when Sheriff Grady Judge had a press conference and shows your picture, Colin Griffith. Yeah. All right, Patricia. Go run. Walk, don't run. I see a lot of shaking going on in the courtroom. Is that my camera or is that them? I see some shaking going on. I agree, Dreamo. What is wrong with people? Oh, and you're back. That was fast. But thank you. Thank you for making that quick. Oh, I need more water. All right, I'm going to go get some more water. I think he was malingering during Baker Act due to wanting a paper trail. All right, I'll be back in a sec. All right, Rachel B. There's a verdict. We have a verdict. You heard it here first. Hurry up, Squeegee. I'm here, guys. I'm here. Therapist, really? I'm here, guys. I am here. We have a verdict. We have a verdict. You're funny, therapist. You are funny. All right. All right, so just under 2 hours. So we'll say 11:25. Should we go with that? 11:25. They started at 9:35 start. And we'll say 9, or should we say 11:30? What should we say is the final? 11:20. Screw it. I'll do 11:30. Close enough, right? Basically, just under 2 hours. So whoever said 2 to 4 hours, you are 2 to 4 says 54% of us said, yes, 54%. You want to go with 11:25? All right, we'll go with 11:25. So either way, just under, right? Just under 2 hours. Oh, so I'm sorry, 0 to 2 hours, one, not 2 to, because we didn't get to 2 hours. My bad. So 0 to 2, 12% of you. All right, here we go. We got movement, guys. We've got movement. All right. We've got movement. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Third, Judge of the Circuit Court of Raleigh County is now sitting.
All right. I am advised that the jury has a verdict. All parties are present, and the defendant is here. I'll expect no outbursts when I read the verdict one way or another, and I will direct the bailiffs to escort anyone out who violates this directive. Are there any matters that we need to discuss before we bring in the jury and receive the verdict?
Nothing for the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bring in the jury. Madam Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes.
Would you hand that verdict to the bailiff who will transmit it to the court? Would the defendant please rise? In the case of State of West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran, case number 23-F-343K, the jury verdict is as follows. We, the jury on the issues, joined unanimously find the following. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree. The verdict form is signed by Holly Rich, foreperson of the jury. It is dated 1/29/2025. There are no marks on the portion of the verdict form pertaining to involuntary manslaughter. Does the state wish to examine the jury verdict form?
Very good, thank you.
Does the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may be seated. Is there a request for the court to poll the jury?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. The verdict is received by the court and directed to be recorded. I'll ask the state to prepare an appropriate order in the premises. The court accepts the jury verdict and finds this defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. The defense will be afforded time to file all appropriate motions, and as we discussed earlier, we must have further proceedings concerning the aspect of mercy. I would like to do that right away, and perhaps to commence this afternoon. I can afford the defense or the state 2 hours to prepare, and we can go directly into the mercy phase.
Your Honor, as we pointed out to the court, we cannot have our witnesses prepared in 2 hours. Specifically, we anticipate calling the children. They are not close by at all. They're in school.
Oh. Well, Matthew. No. What? I can't hear you.
I've been corrected on that particular point, but we have to get in touch with our other witnesses. It will take considerable time to do that. We have to make sure they can get here, and we respectfully request to continue these proceedings and have the mercy portion sometime tomorrow.
What saith the state, Mr. Truman?
Your Honor, the state's prepared to go forward. We understand the defense situation. If they could proffer a number of witnesses they're going to have, that might be helpful. And if they can't start out today, then we defer to the court's judgment. All right.
Members of the jury, let me explain to you the circumstances. You have found the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. There is another aspect that you must consider, and that is whether or not to afford to her mercy. If she receives mercy, she will be eligible for parole in 15 years. If she does not receive mercy, she will spend the rest of her life in prison. And that is a decision that you must determine. We must have a mini trial, so to speak, further proceedings for you to hear additional evidence in that regard and make a determination. You will have to return another verdict in regard to that matter. So the upshot of the situation is you are not finished with your responsibilities. And it is perhaps unfair to start into this right away and to force the attorneys to proceed in this very critical and important part of the proceedings. So it is such that we're going to start up at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I hope you'll understand and I hope that you will continue to be cooperative and patient and considerate and proceed as you have already. You have been here promptly, and you have provided service as jurors in the manner expected, in the manner certainly I request. So here's the deal. I must still warn you and admonish you not to read anything, hear anything, talk to anyone about this case. And by anyone, I'm talking about your family members or friends, because tomorrow is another day insofar as you all are concerned, and we will proceed further in regard to the mercy phase of this case. So you're not done, and we need for you to come back. And you may be sad about that, or maybe you're okay with that. I don't see anybody throwing tomatoes at me yet. So hopefully you'll understand. We need to finish this out. We have much time invested in it, and we simply need to bring it to a conclusion. And I will need you back in your jury room at 9 a.m. I'll try to have a treat for you as a bribe for you to come back. And please follow my instructions. Don't watch anything on TV or see anything online. Again, for the purpose of this additional phase, I want you to have an open mind and to hear the evidence so you can make this additional determination. I can't tell you anything as to what you must do in regard to mercy, but if you have any questions about the procedure, or if you want to curse me, now would be the time to do that. I don't see any curses, and I don't see anybody complaining too much. All right, I will need you back in your jury room tomorrow by 9. Anything further before I let the jury go for the day from the state?
Not for the state, Your Honor.
From the
No, Your
defense.
Honor, thank you.
All right, you may follow the bailiff to your jury room, and I'll see you in the morning at 9 a.m. All right, we will start up for the mercy portion of this case in the morning at 9 o'clock. The defense will go forward first, sort of an unusual arrangement. There is no burden of proof, and it's sort of the wild, wild west, more or less. The court will be very lenient in terms of evidence to be presented. The only thing that I'm bound by is rules 401 and 403 of the rules of evidence. 401, of course, relates to relevancy. 403 requires the court to engage in the balancing to make sure that the probative value of any evidence is not outweighed by its prejudicial nature. Other than those restraints, the court can consider prior bad acts, the court can consider character, the court consider habits, almost anything that would be relevant and not unduly prejudicial to the defendant. So you are guided by that instruction, and we will start up for the mini trial in the morning at 9 a.m. Are there any questions or suggestions from the state?
Not from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Court is in recess.
All right, so that's that. One thing that really irritated me with Todd Mullis is as soon as they found him guilty, they shackled him up right there. Didn't have it, nobody, everybody just gets to walk out, like that. She's found guilty. She should have been handcuffed right there and then. All right, so they started deliberating at 9:35 and they ended at 11:25. She was guilty of first degree. Then the judge wanted to go straight into the mercy phase. And then the defense says, the judge said you get 2 hours to prepare. And then the defense says we can't prepare in 2 hours because the kids are at school. Meanwhile, they're sitting right behind him. At least Nicole was sitting right behind him. And he's like, "Oop, I was mistaken. That was Mr. Selden." And then the jury decides mercy. So basically, it's a mini trial, and that she's eligible for parole after 15 years, and if not, then life in prison. So she's just eligible for parole. That doesn't mean she's going to get out. She's just eligible for parole. It's a mini trial, and they will have to decide the verdict. So I wonder who the blonde was. So that must be Mac. There was a blonde young male. So he's not there today. So that must be, that's Mac and Nicole. Well, that's the mother. I'm not sure what her name is. Mac, meaning those are his initials. So it starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. So we'll be covering it. And there's Nicole. And I'm guessing that's her dad. So defense goes first. There's no burden of proof. Judge said it's like the wild, wild west. You can bring in previous bad acts, which they will. So, yeah, Debbie Blair, I've never heard of that either. Oh wait, Irish Amy. Oh no, they have to be comforted by Mr. Victor, or in this case, Mr. Selden. Debbie Blair, first time I've heard it called a mercy hearing. Kind of interesting. I've never heard of that. Mandy Strong says, Michael's parents have waited 6 years for this. Hopefully this helps them a little. It doesn't bring their son back. That is true. And BAP, they haven't said yet whether it would be consecutive or concurrent. I believe that's probably the judge. He'll probably decide that. So again, she's already serving 11 years. She's 5 years in on 11 years. So this would be at least another 15. So, yep. Widespread panic. I think if she becomes eligible for parole, she'll lie her way to get out. She doesn't suffer from the same hubris that Sarah Boone does. And Jenny says, kids don't look too surprised. Yeah, maybe they're just in shock. Nanar, maybe a boyfriend. He had his arm around her. Oh, that may be the boyfriend. I gotcha. Versus the son. Yeah, yep, could be. BAP says, I like the concept of a mercy hearing. Yep. I agree, Dreama Landry. My heart breaks for those kids. They lost their dad and now their mom. Well, they've already lost their mom. She's serving jail. Brett says the transcript of her allocution at her federal sentencing did not consistently redact Mac's name, so it's out there. I won't state the name she called him, but apparently he goes by his middle name. Okay, good to know. Hey, Momo Shark, how are you? Good to see you. Stopping in. Did you see the verdict? Oh, you missed it. No, Momo Shark. You missed it. It's just a few minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago. Mandy Strong says a parole board will never let her out. Okay, that seems to be it. seems to be it. All right, so we have a verdict for Natalie Cochran, guilty first degree of the deletion of her husband, Michael. Jade 902, hello to you. Thank you for joining us. Shirley Roth, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Ken Rosenberg, parole is a pipe dream for most. Homicide convicts in my area have something like a 15% chance of ever meeting parole. Yeah. Is there a press conference being streamed? If you find it, we will show it. OnlyFan, I will task you to do that. You found the last one, so I will task you to do that. OnlyFan, please find. OnlyFan, go find us a press conference if you could. Please find the presser. Debbie Blair, is she remarried? Don't think she had time to unless she got married in prison because she's in federal prison. She went to prison in 2020. Her charges were brought up in 2019 and Michael passed away in February of 2019, so... Jade, I'll get to you in a second. Ashley Kerviel says, Ashley Accord and Tom Truman were absolutely stellar in this trial. He came out of retirement, wow, for this case. Ashley, I feel, could have handled it on her own. She was that good. Jade 902, we are going to jump over to the Colin Griffith. He is accused of stabbing his mother here in Florida. So we're going to jump over to that. Momo Shark, yes, Kerviel says hour and 50 minutes. I have from 9:35 to 11:25. So we're going with an hour and 50 minutes. And just under 2 hours, so from 0 to 2 hours, 12% of you chose 0 to 2 hours. So you guys got it. I went with 2 to 4 personally, so I failed in that. Yeah, widespread panic. I had no idea Truman came out of retirement for this. Good one. All right, I'm going to go see if I can get a press conference as well. Let's see if we can find a press conference. But OnlyFan, if you can find one, tag me and I will try and find one as well. Might be on Facebook. That's what happened last time, right? Let's go to Facebook. And tag me so I can see it. Let's see here. Is there anything going on? Okay, not seeing anything there. Not finding anything yet, guys. I don't want to waste too much time because I want to get to Colin. I know sometimes these press conferences could take a little while to get going. I don't want to stick around too long because I don't want to miss out on Colin Griffith. Yeah. I'll give him 5 more minutes and then we'll bounce over to Colin. They usually do them. Oh, yeah. Maybe they won't do one until tomorrow. That's true. Wait till after the sentencing. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Usually they do them straight away, though. Right after the verdict, usually, but we'll see. All right, I'll just give it another minute or two. But you're right, I don't want to stick around too. I'm on 59 News, WVNS. They had breaking. Former Raleigh County pharmacist found guilty. So if anybody would have it on Facebook, it would be these guys. Now let me go to their website. Let's see if they have anything there. They're definitely covering it. This West Virginia place, West Virginia, WVNS TV. Looks like they're covering it. All right, looks like we're going to finish this. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for watching West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran. We're going to need about 15 minutes to get things together. Aaron has put a redirect on, so we will see you guys at around quarter after. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for watching West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran. Thank you to Aaron. Thank you to our mods. OnlyFan, Therapist You Know, Julie and Brat. Rachel B. was with us. Hellcat, Widespread Panic, Florida PI Sam, Jules. We had everybody today. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And you're right. Yep, you're right, OnlyFan. We can watch the presser tomorrow. All right, time for the portal. All right, hang on. Put your trays and seat backs in their upright position, and we will see you guys in about 15 minutes. I got to set up some stuff on the background, on the back end, and we will see you all in a little bit.